Hi, my name is Elisabeth Canty, and this is my oral communications personal persuasion project / speech for ORU. And today I'm going to be talking about the power of student activism and just persuading my audience to get more involved in their community because it really can help with change. So that's why I think it's very important to be today's champions of tomorrow's change. And I'm going to be talking about students driving change, actively participating, envisioning the impact, and the call to action when it comes to those things. Okay. Many high school students don't realize that they actually have the power to enact change, and within just their school community and their everyday lives, they're not realizing that if they see a problem that they actually do have the power to make a change to fix it. Have you ever felt that your voice is insignificant, or if you say anything no one's going to hear it? Well, I can tell you right now that if you say something loud enough and it has enough power behind it, people will listen. It's just all about the way you go about it, and it's all about what you honestly have to say. Okay, the first thing is the unexploited potential. Not many people, like I said, realize that they have so much potential inside of them. It just really requires you opening your mouth. And most of the time, I've even found that when I open my mouth and say something, that so many people back me up on what I have to say. And it just really took the courage to say the thing in the first place and just to step out and be courageous about something that I saw a problem with. Students really do have the power to inspire change. For instance, Greta Thunberg, she was a 17-year-old climate change activist. She's 21 now, but she started that climate change activism spark all over the world, and she was passionate about it. And a lot of people realized that it is a problem, and she made history by going on many talk shows. She was in newspapers, she was in so many other things like that, and she just really invoked change and brought awareness to climate change, making people more aware of how we can take care of our planet. Another one. Her name is Malala Yousafzai, I believe, and she actually was a girl who was almost assassinated by the Taliban because she spoke out about female education. The Taliban tried to assassinate her. She luckily survived, and then she took that experience and shared her story with people, and even today she continues to speak out against the Taliban and other people in her country in order to help broaden the inspiration of better female education. Small voices can and are heard. These people saw a need and a problem, and they used their quote-unquote small voice to be heard, and in the end it really worked out for them. They inspired change. They invoked people to speak out in their own countries and in their own situations about certain things that might be deemed small in their communities. They decided to branch out and take a step, and it led to activism, or good activism. Student actions actually affect. The Civil Rights Movement. Actually, in the 1960s, 60% of sit-ins in the South were led by students. Student actions affect. The Civil Rights Movement impact. Actually, in the 1960s, over 60% of sit-ins across the South were actually led by students. When it came to climate change activism, 74% of youth aged 16 to 24 actually saw climate change as a top priority, and they drove movements like Fridays for Future. And it also boosts wellness as well. 76% of students engaging in meaningful activities reported higher happiness and reduced stress and loneliness. And then when it came to career advantages, 59% of employers said that community involvement positively influence hiring decisions as well. So these are just a few things of why you should get more involved in your community, because it benefits you from all fronts, from your mental health, from just enacting change and invoking change, and then even your career, because if employers see that you're involved in something that you're trying to go after with a degree or something like that, you might be more apt to be hired over someone that has no community involvement, because it gives you a broader perspective. Okay, so just like I said, it increases student satisfaction, community involvement, and just leadership skill development. Like I said, these are all really important things that you need to be a well-rounded person, not just in your community, but just as a person. By serving and giving back, it just makes you a better person, and by pouring into someone else's cup or an organization's cup that's helping other people in need, it just makes you a better person in general. Okay, so another thing is also it creates a safer, more nurturing environment. By getting more involved, people can feel more like safe in their communities and stuff like that. And it also helps bring awareness to, you know, certain things, just like awareness to men's mental health, anti-bullying campaigns, and just stuff like that. And then also, it's really all about using your talents for good. It's really important to make sure you channel like artistic ways that you might have, or just really good creativity into helping make the world a better place. So if you have a talent, you should use it, and if you're going to use it, it should be for good. And then we understand that students wield power, but how can you harness it effectively? The second one is by actively participating, like I said. Using your passion, channeling your interest into meaningful things. If you see a problem, say something about it. Don't just sit on the sidelines, because by you not saying anything, you're saying something at the same time, by you just letting stuff just go by. And then if it's something that you enjoy, you're probably going to do a really good job at it. So if you're really good at painting or making murals or whatever, you can do that for awareness and stuff like that. And it's going to be really good, because who does something really bad if it's something that they really like to do that just never happens? And then you can get involved with your student government. You can help shape school policies, promote sustainability, and create inclusivity also. You can engage in local community service by seeking out volunteer opportunities, community service efforts, and community connections. All of those things can really benefit you when it comes to community service. Now it's time to visualize. Envision the impact that you would have. You can be a positive role model to younger grades under you. You can be a positive role model to people across the world. If people see you speaking out, then they're more apt to speak out, because they're noticing that even though you're young, you're not letting that stop you. And that includes igniting broader discussions and inspiring nationwide ideas. Like I said, community involvement, local food drives and stuff like that. And then most of the time, community initiatives often expand into larger campaigns as well. And then ways that you can start small: start a community project, maybe get into student government, or just sign up for your local like homeless shelter, food bank, just small things that you can do to help your community. And that's all in taking the first step. And lastly, I'm just wanting to remind you not to let anyone look down on you because you're young, but to set an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And that's 1 Timothy 4:12. And these are my sources where I got some of this stuff, and that is my presentation.
That was really good.
I hope the first. I'll send you the video. If you don't like it, I'll